Shadow Trader Video Weekly for Sunday, November 22nd, 2015. Focus right here is on the fact that we just literally took back everything from the prior week in the SPX. All the majors kind of look like this. So you can see you've got, I call this candles lining up same size bodies. Could almost call it a tweezer bottom, I think, on the weekly chart here. You can see because these are kind of equal right here and they're right next to each other. But regardless, that pretty much sets a bullish tone. I'm thinking probably to the end of the year, if not to the FOMC meeting, which is I think the 17th and 18th. Don't quote me on that, but at least up until the middle of December. At the very least, this coming week is going to be a shortened week because Thursday the markets are closed and Friday is a half day. It'll be a 1 p.m. close on the NYSE. So you've got 3 full trading days next week. So probably the move is going to be the market wants to move up into this area, I would say, during that time period. Those shortened holiday weeks are usually bullish. Keep that in mind. And especially even those shortened days, I've found from my experience that those short days are usually bullish, where you would think nothing's going to happen and the market goes up in that short amount of time that it's open in the morning. Let's take a brief look at market profile here, which is showing some interesting patterns. This is a topic that I touched upon in the blog over the course of the week, that I was saying that, you know, just because there's poor structure all the way up doesn't mean that it's not bullish. It can just stay that way for a while. You just have a lot of shorter-term traders pushing things upward. They're just momentum players. So I felt that this structure here was kind of weak, and that point of control was here and it didn't migrate higher. And here you just had one TPO, 2 TPOs wide. This was also broken up into multiple distributions here on this day. And then that was followed up by a very squat profile day, which is a balancing day, which kind of consolidated whatever was going on in this move, or digested that move. And then Friday's action was another kind of squat day. It was options expiry though, so you can figure that there's probably some back and forth. Prominent point of control from Thursday has not been revisited. That's something you should carry forward. So if there is any sort of corrective activity next week, I would be watching this level right here, right there, as a possible target where the market would come back to around 78 and a quarter, right in there. But for the most part, profile is just humming along to the upside. Like I said, there's key takeaways here in terms of poor structure, but you don't want to be looking at that as holding you back from the bullish side, basically. That's the main thing. You don't want to be hanging your hat on that. It's kind of like people who look at up markets and say, well, it's just going up on such light volume, and they don't believe it and they refuse to participate. It just doesn't make sense. The market is bullish. The trend is to the upside, and that's the direction you should be trying to go. All right, let's look at just a couple of charts here. Full disclaimer, I'm actually taking a little bit of time off from active trading. I've had a great November, even though it's only about halfway through. I am just kind of buried with a whole lot of website stuff. As you guys know, we're doing a lot of stuff behind the scenes on shadowtrader.net, trying to ramp up some new content. So I'm going to be working on that for the majority of this shortened week and into the 30th, and then come back to actively trading on December 1st. However, I will leave you with some ideas. There's definitely a lot of things out there that are looking good to trade if you are trading next week in the shortened week. IBM came to mind when I was looking at charts, especially in the Jumbotrons. You have a 100% retracement move here and here. That would tell me that when you have a move like that with sort of the bullish engulfment on the weeklies, that it will not be retested, and you'll probably only get a pullback to about 50% of this move. So people that I would be looking to trade IBM from the bullish side, some sort of risk reversal or other, and be looking at probably short puts anywhere underneath this kind of 134-ish area. You can see here, it's just about to, let me see here, cross, I got to pull this just right. It's just about to cross the downtrend line. So that's also another signal that when you see that move up in that direction, then what happens is it's harder for the market, for the stock to retrace, and you can see there's pullback areas into here, and that's where I was saying that kind of right in this area is where I'd probably be short puts and be looking for some sort of a move to the upside. So bullish bias here. Again, as I was saying, full disclosure, I'm looking to kind of be kind of quiet on the trading front next week, working on some other stuff, but I want to leave you with some ideas and kind of go over some charts that I thought looked good to me. Another one that came to mind when I was looking on the Jumbotrons, and I may have mentioned this before, I was saying that the consolidation in ISRG was long, and it just started to break on Friday, but what's interesting is that it hasn't even yet broken above the top of this really ugly red candle, right? So they reported earnings here, there was a big gap and the stock moved down and then it consolidated, and you can see here there's still that move to be made above that, and if you look on the weeklies, right, there's plenty of like open air here, kind of lack of resistance for the stock to move a bit higher up into where it usually resists up in the 544 area. So keep an eye on that. You'd have a trigger point obviously once you move over that level. Last but not least, Chipotle was in the news on Friday and the stock just got absolutely hammered. This was like really good to anybody playing this intraday on Friday, because you can see there's equal bottoms here and then it just dropped the last 30 minutes into the close. It's actually, news actually came out about an Ebola scare on CMG midday, or kind of around 2 p.m. actually. Around 2 p.m. the news came out and the stock just started dropping like a stone. What would you do with this next week? Honestly, I think you would play it a little bit short below Friday's low for a continuation play to the downside. Maybe it wants to visit the figure, quote unquote, 500. I don't know exactly what it wants to do, but that's a possibility. And then the other play would be that even whether you take a short like that or not, is that, remember, going out of range and then coming back into range is always a valid trade setup for short covering, especially when it's to the downside. When you have downside move and then failed continuation, right? So you try to get continuation, then it fails and it goes up instead of down. So you'd have like a cross down below the low, and then all of a sudden something happens and it goes back up. Your buy point would be here. I'll do that a little bit better, clear that better. Right here, right? Above the low of this day. Because you have the downward move, and you have the upward move, and then, oh, this is all short covering. So that's what I'd be looking at in Chipotle for next week. All right, a couple of exciting things happening with the website here on shadowtrader.net. A couple of things I want to show you. Firstly, right here on this post here, and you may have to click this button here to turn it a bit. And I apologize, you're probably only seeing this cut off a little bit, but here on the left-hand side of the website, I can actually move this a little bit up like that, right? Actually, I apologize, that didn't work. It's probably still cut off a little bit. But over here, if you find this post here that says warning signs, you click on it. We're offering a special here of like half price on a hedging product that Ryan Mastro came up with. And the reason we're doing this only for the first 10 people who purchase this and put in the coupon code FEEDBACK. You can get it for $50 instead of $97. This is a really comprehensive product. It's really cool. It's 8 videos plus some bonus materials on how to hedge a long-term portfolio, basically. If you're sitting on a whole bunch of stocks, a lot of equity, and you're worried about a possible market downturn in 2016, which me personally, I believe will come probably in 2016. I think the market, just statistically over the number of years it's been up, is ripe for a larger pullback. If you want to know how to protect that, you can check out this short video course. And the reason why we're giving the discount, which is, again, only to the first 10 people who get it, is because we really want to get some feedback on the product. This is very new to us, kind of making a first foray here into paid content, and we really want to know what people think of it. So if you do purchase it, you will then email Ryan over at rmastro@shadowtrader.net. That's right there, and send the feedback as well. I'll probably reach out to whomever purchases it with a little thank you note, and I'll give you my email as well so you can send it to me. So check that out if you like. Again, that's right on the homepage, and you just click on this warning signs email here with the failure to ZERP here, and that'll take you to the link where you can get to it. Okay, beyond that, if you are on the homepage, look right here, Trade Alert Poll. Please click on this post right here and tell us what you might be interested in terms of options alerts, right? Would you like to get some options alerts on time spreads and diagonals? These would basically be just trade alerts, not full-on newsletters, but just, getting real-time trade alerts on time spreads or diagonals, consolidation breakouts using options, meaning like that ISRG would be a perfect example of that. Buying calls or call spreads or a back spread or something bullish like that on ISRG before that breakout occurred, that would be that. Short-term credit spreads would be basically verticals on weeklies, selling them to collect steady income. Index options directional, that's pretty self-explanatory. Would you be interested in an alert service that would trade like SPY, diamonds, IWM, SPX, things like that, all the indices in a directional manner using options. And then the last choice here is swing trading using options. So you're looking at 3 to 5 to 7 day holds, but instead of buying or shorting equity outright, you would be using options for that. So check out the poll and tell us what you're interested in. Click on it, vote. Basically, you vote on whichever one you'd be interested in. And we'll see what the results are next week, and we'll kind of take it from there. All right, shortened week next week. Again, I'm going to just recap a couple of things that I said earlier. ISRG, CMG, and IBM are probably in play. I'm taking it a little bit easy, kind of already having my November wrapped up and focusing a little bit on this housekeeping and behind-the-scenes stuff for shadowtrader.net. I'll certainly be back at it really strong on December 1st. Markets are closed on Thursday. Friday is a half day. I wish you all a very, very happy Thanksgiving. Hopefully you all spend a lot of good quality time with your families and friends. And on behalf of myself and the entire Shadow Trader team here in beautiful Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I wish you good trading and good night.